So as long as we keep on pushing that, and we're coming up on the 3rd week of doing this, we're going to see some sort of change soon. And if we don't, then it's going to continue to happen, and we're going to have those peaks of people rioting and protesting again and again and again until we get it correct. I feel people won't give up, especially the stubborn generation of these people now. They're not going to give up. I don't see any stopping of this newer generation of political protesters and activists. They're starting to become way more organized because, like I said, that first wave of people,
they're college kids, dude. Like really young college people putting these mass protests against police brutality. That it goes to show that Gen Z is not here to mess around. They're gonna come strong, dude.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that education, a person's education, is tied directly into, has like a direct effect on someone's morals, like morality?
I believe so. But also, there's it's the way you're brought up as a person, and we've seen that in movies, we've seen that in real life and society. You can have everything in the world financially and still be a piece of shit. Or you can be a really good person. You can have nothing, and it could be both ways. It doesn't matter what you have. As long as you're a good person, I feel the way you're brought up, you can be the most educated person and be smart. And still achieve, but also you can use it's all abuse of power. You can be the smartest person and use it for evil. It's just depending on who you are. As far as schooling, I feel if everybody was more educated, they would have more free will to do whatever they want. There's so many people that are frustrated and are high school dropouts and they have nothing. Now, I'm not saying that those people can't make a life for themselves, but or have happiness or anything like that, but they would have a lot better chance if they had a better opportunity to become more educated, if they had that chance to become a better person. What if they didn't have schooling? What if they didn't have a tutor? Or what if they didn't have an iPad? What if they couldn't afford a fucking library card because they needed to buy food? What if they didn't have shoes? All of that affects a scenario for a person growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like making choices. And it's so vital because they're young, they're kids, they're teenagers. You have to think about social stance, people being, being teased for being black, for being Mexican, for being the only white kid in mid-city schools. Stuff like that all affects the way someone is brought up. And whether you have education or not, that's what helps you become who you are. Your choice. It's your choice.
Well, also, your choices, you like how you said, like people need to have the opportunity to choose, If people had the opportunity to choose a higher education, there'd be a fucking lot of people choosing that, But they don't have that option.
I know when I was growing up, and I one of the main reasons I didn't attend San Diego State is because I couldn't afford it. And if I had that chance to afford it, and I didn't qualify for financial aid back in 2000, I would have pursued it, and I would have been there getting my education further. But I didn't, and so I didn't pursue it. I couldn't pay for it, so I just started to work. But I'm just using myself as an example. If we had better funding for education for everybody across the board, who knows what I could have achieved or done more,
Yeah.
And for people who didn't even have that chance to do anything like that, not only in San Diego, but across the nation.
Yeah, because it breaks down to this. So from pre-K all the way up to your senior in high school, you spend the majority of your time as a kid within the educational system.
Yes.
So we have to question, like, is it really, doing its job?
Is there a positive benefit? Is the ratio, is this working, basically?
It probably goes to certain schools, who knows? Like, that's kind of messed up that we probably have to say that certain schools are better adapted to maybe multicultural schools.
How many teachers out there feel like that lady? And are they letting their personal feelings kind of mess with their educational programs within the school?
Oh yeah, I feel people have abuse of power and they have their own agenda. I know for a fact that shit. I mean, I can see that happening. I can totally see that happening. Even as a kid, I would notice shit like how teachers would play favorites, amongst certain people.
I would notice certain teachers that were angrier than other teachers, like
towards a certain group of people,
Mm-hmm.
Especially growing up in the 90s, dude. Like, I don't know. I felt like the 90s, for just experiencing it, where I felt like that during the 90s was like, it wasn't as exposed as it is now, because now they have an enabler. Now they have someone that's talent and encouraging it.
Yeah.
And it was real under wraps, like it was kind of low-key, like jabs of racism.
Like you talked about when they go to overseas, it was about what was happening more overseas after everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now it's all coming back to America. Like, what's America been doing? And now we're seeing it. We're brutalizing their own people. Like, and being crazy out here. They're not handling COVID well because it's spiking again. And go ahead, Wes.
Oh, I was just going to say that to piggyback off of what Vic was saying, is back then in the 90s, bigots were around, and it really hasn't, things haven't changed. It's just that, like you said, the enabler is giving them a voice, and where they feel like they don't have to be closet racists anymore, and they're just walking around being proud, just like you were talking about in Georgia, where that's crazy, where it's it's socially acceptable to be a bigot.
Almost encouraged there. I want to recommend a movie for anybody that's listening. If you haven't seen it, it was a movie that came out, I believe, in like 1995 or 96. It's called Higher Learning, and it has Ice Cube, Busta Rhymes, I forget the other guy's name. He plays Remy, and a couple really other good actors in it. But it's basically about a group of kids. What's his name? Malik. And what's that actress name? Or I'm drawing a blank. Tyra Banks. Fucking Tyra Banks is in it too. But it's a really powerful movie that shows racism within the schools in a college during the 90s.
Omar Epps is Malik.
Omar Epps, there you go, Malik. Omar Epps. And it shows you the struggle of this African American coming up as an athlete in the school systems, and it shows you the amount of racism and the amount of hidden agendas that people had, how there were skinheads there on campus, and I feel like that movie is almost timeless too. From that point on, it shows you how much hidden racism there is within the schools, and I feel like it's a really good watch for the times at hand. I don't know if it's on any platform. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's called Higher Learning. If anybody's out there wanting to watch a movie that's pertaining to now.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into it to see if it's on any platform.
I don't think so at the moment, but I wanted to get into that. I wanted to say that, so for change to happen right now and the reform and everything that we've been wanting, and a change in president might be possible because his polls at the moment are not looking as strong as they were in, what was it, 2017 or what? When he's president? Yeah,
a lot of people are going toward Joe Biden right now.
which is okay. You know.
Do you guys feel if when the elections happen, if President Trump were to be voted out of there, and let's say Joe Biden were to come in, do you think there would be change and positive reform for people, or do you think it would just stay the same?
I think for presidents, usually the first 4 years that they take the role as president, I think that is more cleanup from the last 4 years of what the previous president has done. And I think in order to see a president officially, get things done, they would need a full 8 for them to kind of clean up what was done in the past, and then the next 4, the next term that they get would be to enact some of those ideals that they use for their platform to get votes.
Also, it could be.
Go ahead.
Also, it could just be that, Joe Biden is meant to come in and ease the transition for someone completely different.
Right.
After these next 4 years,
Yeah.
Because I know Trump has, I don't know if it'll be enough to change, even though it appears like maybe it is, because you said that his polls aren't looking great right now, but a lot of former Trump supporters have turned against him because of the consistent things that he's doing, like every day, socially. It's pretty unacceptable, even from as long as you're a forward-thinking Republican, you should see that this guy is trash across the board. It doesn't matter right or left anymore,
Yeah, people are starting to say, you know what, Trump, we're fucking tired of your shit. We used to be cool with you, but we're tired of your bullshit right now.
Well, because Trump represents them, Trump is representing those representatives too,
yeah.
A lot of people, like how, someone previously said, white people are tired of white people's shit too.
Yeah.
Also being condemned by the United Nations as well right now, that they're not tolerating it either, and that's another higher power of people that are.
That's what I'm afraid of. I feel like there's going to be a massive change, and it's probably something that we that's not even on our radar. Because currently, the National Guard, a lot of the National Guard are feeling for our people and are actually protesting against their what they're supposed to do, and they're trying to sympathize with the people because they don't agree with local law. And that's going to be, I feel, the ultimate riot. I feel like if it comes down to it, I don't think the National Guard is going to have the back of the local law enforcement as much as they're going to have the back of the people. And also, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there's protests of firemen actually setting themselves on fire as a form of protest against the police brutality, and actually fighting the cops in some areas. Where local firemen will actually fight the cops because they're brutalizing the people there. So you're going to see a lot of people just standing up for what's right now, not just following orders, but standing up for what's right. And I feel if we can get more people to just awaken from this sleep, dude, just awaken and use more common sense, I feel we can change. What you guys were saying about the presidents coming in, during their first year, I think they do the most changing of laws and passing new bills as much as possible. And we've seen that from the presidency of George Bush, going from George Bush to Obama. Obama, in that first 2 years, he reversed a lot of the bills, and then they were reversed again when Trump was elected into presidency. I feel it's going to be like a yin-yang effect for the next couple years until we get somebody that is constantly doing good for the people,
Yeah.
What good is it if somebody passes a law to help somebody, and then in 4 years, 8 years, somebody comes in and reverses that bill, and then in 4 years somebody comes back and reverses it again? It's